what's your reaction after you got to see Canelo Alvarez did his performance against Callum Smith? What do you think of his
Yeah,
career? That he's is eventually he's taking poof.
you know, Canelo he's a superstar. He's one of the faces, if not the two or three faces of boxing, and to carry on a great Mexican tradition of great Mexican fighters. He's carrying a whole country on his back, and he's that he keeps getting better. He's not those guys that just stays in the gym when it's time to fight. It seems like he's always in the gym. And Eddie Reynoso, has done a great job with him because he's always learning. Those fights with Triple G, even though I disagreed with the scoring, I thought Triple G definitely won the first fight. Nobody can talk me out of that. I know what my eyes see. But that doesn't mean that Canelo still didn't fight great. The second fight was a little bit different. I thought it was a draw. So, but I think there's a lot of good fighters that he can fight, coming up between 160 and 175 pounds. And it looks like he's willing to kind of go back and forth. He has to satisfy some of the mandatories for the sanctioning bodies, and that may get in the way a little bit. But I think the best is yet to come, and hopefully it is.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I spoke with Carlos Gangora, and he says that the Ecuadorian guy that he just shocked the world. He won his IBO title, and he says, "Oh, I'll be ready when Canelo asks me to fight him because." First of all, that would be an honor to fight him, but eventually, this is the title that Canelo wants, and I think he has to come and get it. So, what do you think? Right now, that division is pretty tough. Benavides is there, Ramirez. There's also an upcoming name that his name is Edgar Berlanga from New York, and he said that he wants to challenge Canelo. What do you think if these fights happen?
Well, I mean, you got to remember too. You still have Caleb Plant in there.
Yep.
You still have the Dimitri Bivol, who's one of the light heavyweight champs, who could probably come down to 68. I think Canelo wants to fight guys that have world title belts. I could see the Canelo Plant. I could see Canelo Benavides. I could definitely see Canelo and Jermall Charlo. It just really depends. He's in the driver's seat. Canelo Alvarez is in the driver's seat. He's got the car and he's driving it, and there may be another fight with Triple G. Who knows? The bottom line is it's got to make business sense. I read today that he just signed for a mandatory with Matchroom to do a fight on February 27th. They just announced the fight for him for that mandatory. And then you see where he goes for the summer, because if he fights in February, you already know Cinco de Mayo is right around the corner.
Oh yeah.
And I have a feeling that that's really going to be where we're really going to see what direction where he's going to head in. Right now, as the year, because I know I was busy all the way from July to the end of the year, and I'll be working the Caleb Plant World Title fight for PBC next week on Fox, and you're going to see starting probably late February, March, and April, you're going to see a lot of things getting announced, and things are going to get real busy, both for PBC, for Top Rank, for Golden Boy, for Matchroom, and everybody else. So once the big names get their date, everything else starts falling into place, because you have to have undercards, and all those things.
Yep. What do you think right now that everything is going on with the pandemic, and how do you manage, especially right now these times during the boxing career?
Well, I've been fortunate to work all the shows for PBC on Fox and Fox Sports 1 here in LA. I've worked the pay-per-views for Showtime and Fox in Texas with my Cutman partner, Danny Milano, who's on the East Coast. Excuse me. And, and all the safety protocols and going into a quarantine bubble, and testing for COVID to make sure, because there's too much invested that you have to go into a bubble right now, because, the vaccine has just come out and we're still waiting to see the results of how that's going to work. There'll be people that have the vaccine. There'll be people that don't. it doesn't mean that, the COVID's going to go away. So you just have to, you have to be smart. You have to wear your mask and you have to social distance. Nobody likes it, but 400,000 people in the United States have died. I'm not even keeping track of, of other countries. And I live in Los Angeles, and right now it's as bad in Los Angeles, or it has been the last month or so, as it has anywhere in the world. So you just have to be smart and listen to the science and take all the measures. Now, can we still do boxing and other sports? Absolutely, but it takes a whole effort for everybody to comply with everything that needs to be done. And I think the promoters, especially the promoters that I work with, like I've worked with Tom Brown, with GGB, I've been in the rank bubble, I've been in the bubble. They have too much invested to not make it work, and that's why they make it work. And yeah, it's strict. You have to be in your room a lot. But here's the one thing. This is what we sign up for. Nobody's forcing us.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to do something that we love at a high level. So it's an honor to be asked to do this, to be in this position. So I'm not going to be the one that screws it all up, by violating protocols. It's a little uncomfortable, not uncomfortable. It's not natural because we're natural social creatures.
Yeah.
But I'm all for whatever keeps everybody healthy, and that's the most important thing. I mean, now you're talking about boxing in general. When the fighters fight, it's dangerous enough. They're putting their lives on the line. So the one thing you want is to make sure that they just get to concentrate on the fight, and they don't have to worry about other things. So I'm all for any safety protocols, any quarantines or bubbles that they need to continue to have for as long as they need to have them.
You are right. I mean, in order that we can still see boxing going on, we have to apply all these rules, protocols, and just be taking care of everyone, especially because health is involved in every aspect. As whether we are outside the boxing, whether we continue living our lives. So that's
the two most important commodities we have as people is our health and our time.
sure.
If you don't have your health, you don't have. I don't care how much you have, property you have. You don't have your health, you don't have it. And the one thing that you can't put a price tag on, the most valuable thing that we have, is giving somebody your time and giving your best effort with that time. That's worth more than gold.
Correctly, I agree 100% with you.